Do it. What do you think? Shall we?
Let's do
We
it.
shall. Welcome
Let's go.
everyone to our daily success call. Another week, another month, another thrill here, John Lavinia, for your delight. Happy to have this time each day at 1:15 p.m. Eastern U.S. time, 6:15 p.m. British Summer Time, 3:15 a.m. in Sydney. Welcome everyone, and whether you're watching this live or recorded, we're glad you're here within this community. Happy birthday, Jan. Let me say that publicly now that we're broadcasting live. Hooray, Jan. I won't dare ask your age because I know that's not what you do.
You wouldn't get it out of me.
I'll tell you.
Very useful. Very useful. All right. Your partner in crime there is about to.
She's about to tattle on me.
Right. Okay. Very good. Welcome to another week. Welcome to another month. We are now a full month into the third quarter. Rapidly approaching fourth quarter, which I think is a big deal, right? For anyone in online e-commerce and retail and all that is a big deal. And so what we're doing now is preparing ourselves for that. I will say this, though, as we kind of get the week rolling here, I was also looking at some of the experiences of our members here in the Low-Hanging System, and just going back through a bunch of like little clips, like off of Facebook and little testimonies and things like that. My goodness, some of the results are spectacular. And what I want to talk with you about today is you expecting that for yourself as well? Expecting spectacular results. And I often say, especially to our new members, I say, well, I'm here to help you make a spectacle of yourself. And people laugh because usually that means go make an ass of yourself or something. No, we can do that in a good way, right? Let's make a spectacle of ourselves in a good way. And what is that? That is something worth looking at. A spectacle, right? Oh, wow, this is a spectacular sort of a thing. Well, why not you? Great question. Why not you? Because here I am looking at just going through a bunch of experiences of other people who have shown up before you did, right? Because many of us here are a month or two or less, in the business, a day, an hour in some cases. Welcome. I'm John, by the way. And so why not you? Are they special people? How about Rachel? Is Rachel special? She's made some decisions before you did, and she's a few $1 million down the road, and that's cool. And now she's able to facilitate and help you go even faster. In fact, those of you who are going through our accelerator program, you're learning about how to go faster, how to leverage time, money, experience, right? And how to perhaps stop approaching things so linear, right? Like trading hours for dollars, and the whole idea of you showing up and punching a clock at an office or something, or having a preset amount of money or currency, right? That you can take in, because there's only the main thing you're outflowing is time. And if the main thing you're putting out is your time, if you're exchanging time for money, then that becomes very linear. But actually, money is reward for service rendered. So if we're able to put out more service, provide more benefits into the marketplace, regardless of the amount of time, and once you build this up, right, you've got a leveraged income, right? So now we got leverage. We can get more compensation in less time. I think that's a pleasing idea. And it's one that perhaps some of you are confronting for the first time. This is a new idea, that you actually get paid what you're worth in the marketplace, not what the clock says. So it's a pretty big consideration, especially if, like myself, you've had not too many examples growing up of people who were leveraging their time or experiencing a leveraged income. Now, I can tell you that there are seasons that come and go. I was just having a conversation with some of my favorite people about rhythms, about how the tide comes in, the tide goes out, right? There's seasons for this, seasons for that. And there are certainly things that you can observe in your own life where that's been the case, and maybe it was pleasing and maybe it wasn't, right? Where perhaps you got into a rhythm with your work, okay, and that was good, and you were producing more in less time, and perhaps you started to get some leverage, right? Or maybe in another area, maybe you were getting maybe you were having a new relationship, and the birds were chirping and the blossoming of love and springtime. And maybe you weren't in the rhythm with that. Maybe that was a bit of work, right? You felt kind of out of sync with that. But you see all these things that ebb and flow in our lives. When we get into a rhythm with stuff, we get into a situation where we're prepared for that tide to come in. We're prepared to receive because we've sowed the seeds, right? And we did it in advance. Like right now, like a lot of people are sowing seeds right now. It's a really good thing. When we do that, we're not surprised when the harvest comes in. Do you think farmers are surprised when they know, 'tis the season to harvest right now, right? We're getting into harvest time, right? Well, I guess it depends on your geography, right? So it's winter in the Southern hemisphere, and, different crops grow at different, I'm not a farmer. Okay. But you get the point, right? It's that farmers aren't surprised when the bounty is bountiful, right? And pressed down and running over, and, here's all the corn and here's all the tomatoes and whatever, right? That's not like a shock sort of a thing. You see, they're working with already known laws, and they work with those laws. They're not just happenstance. They've observed, and they've prepared the receiving pipelines. So that's where kind of like my brain's going right now, is that the work that you're doing right now. Let's say the making of the designs and the listing of the products, and that's what we observe as the so-called work. And it is, right? It's on purpose action. Okay. But a lot of times people look at that, or their marketing efforts, as like they're trying to get. Why am I marketing? Why am I selling this item, this cup, this shirt, this whatever it happens to be? Well, I want to get money, right? Oh, okay. But let's think about this another way. If we are putting ourselves in, and here's what Missy was talking about, formless substance. All right. So here's the power of thought. If we approach our business efforts like a rat looking for cheese, trying to get, right? I'm going to get, right? That's where all this anxiety starts to come up for us, where we're coming from a position of lack. I lack, I need to get, I need. Okay. How does that occur? Like out in life and in the marketplace, and back to the idea of you starting this glorious romantic relationship or something. How does neediness occur to the other person? Is that attractive? Okay, so why are we actually doing this? When we do marketing, when we create our creative work, and when we go ahead and we put it out there into the marketplace, why are we actually doing this? Because we need, or because we have? Oh, because we have benefits. Here they are, right? Here's the seen and the unseen aspect of this product, right? I mean, if there was no need for some subjective or emotional, agreement or buy-in or reaction to that, then it would just be a white cup. There's nothing on it. Right? So that's boring. So we're going to do something unboring with this. So there's a subjective value, and that you could put out there, not because you lack, but because you have. And it's a whole different approach when we market, and when we sell, and we do things that are for the benefit of others, right? Because we have, they don't have. They're the ones that lack. We have benefits. And now we're going to go ahead and put those out there, right? And that is actually arranging the receiving pipeline. That's not trying to get. That's just saying, I've already done the work, the actual work, which is right here. I've already done the actual work, which in many cases boils down to making a decision, which most people would rather die than do such things, but it's necessary. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to make a decision that, yes, we're going in this other direction for the purposes of supporting myself, my family, creating that lifestyle, that ongoing income, and whatever your personal purposes are. Okay. So that was the actual work, was deciding what you want and that you will, in fact, have it. That's the work. Okay. That you're the person who's going to get that done, and you're going to go make a spectacle of yourself. Great. Now that I've made that decision, now that I've done the work, now let me go arrange the receiving pipelines for this. Okay. So we'll accomplish all this via, here's coffee, cups, t-shirts, stuff, right? That I can now exchange with my fellow man because they've got this other thing called money, right? That's a type of current, right? So we're sending out the currency of valuable products and services. We're receiving the currency of money, right? Dollars, pounds, euros, etc. Thank you, right? So this happens all very predictably and lawfully, but the attitude behind it, and what is attitude? It's the culmination of our thoughts, feelings, and actions. The attitude behind it, I think, must be one of accomplishment, gratitude. You're grateful for what you have, right? And I have benefits, and let me go ahead and not keep those a secret. Let me go ahead and put those out there for your benefit, Mr. and Mrs. Customer, right? And now I can exchange with you. Now I can have greater reach into the marketplace. And there will come a point, you can picture this in your mind, right? There will come a point where you're walking into, let's go on a little journey here real quick. This is part of the work, by the way. This is part of the work. I walk into, you walk into the doctor's office and you see the information desk, the receptionist, and they've got on their desk one of your cups. And you didn't like walk in and hand it to them. They like bought it off of Etsy or something. And you're not surprised at all. Because my goodness, are you prolific. You've got so many designs out there. I mean, something's got to stick, right? And it just so happened that this person working that information desk, the reception, right, just happened to resonate with something that came out of your brain. And you have a little conversation about that. My goodness, where'd you get that cup? That's a great cup. And then you spring the surprise on them. Yeah, I actually I designed that cup. There it is. There it is. I guess this works. Yeah, well, there it is. And so, and are you you know what? That's almost to be expected because you pretty much get what you expect. But you see, if you can put yourself in that position now, if you can operate from the position of expectancy, and that, you know, all this so-called work that I'm doing here is setting up the receiving pipelines so that I can receive what, you know, the universe, the marketplace is sending my way, right? There's got to be a via for that, right? Money doesn't just fall down from the sky, you know, because you wished it or something. Okay, so let's go ahead and do the action now. But again, I say the action, the doing this, right? That is setting up the receiving pipeline. It's not because we're trying to get. It's just saying, here's the highway upon which the coins can roll into my wallet, into my purse. That's it. And so we do it with a bit of game and flippancy and fun because we already know. We already know the bigger game we already played. And that's what you don't see. That's what you don't see. That's the making of the decision that you are the next top producer, spectacular story. When this guy over here is going through people's results for the past 6 months, year, 2 years, right? And your name keeps coming up. Yeah, I remember that person. I remember Gabe when he was brand new, man. He was wet behind the ears. He didn't know a damn thing. And now look at him, man. First 500K in the bank, right? I remember Georgie, right? Staying up at 3 a.m, thinking, you know, I can't miss this, right? Remember those days, Georgie, back then? Jayton, I remember Jayton when he would come on here and ask all those questions. They're fun questions too. I like Jayton. He's a fun guy. Now he's making money. And he deserves it. And of course he is. Of course he is. I mean, what the hell else would we be doing here? You know, when I made my first million, it wasn't like a shock. It was like deja vu. It's like, of course I did. What else would I be doing here? Totally expected. That's the work. That's the work. Okay. And then as that person, go sow the seeds, right? Go set up the receiving pipeline. Go design 10 million cups. Do whatever the work, the so-called work is. But do it as the person with full expectation that you will not be denied, right? Because if not you, then who? Look, there's millions being made online every day by people who aren't special or necessarily more intelligent or whatever. They're just more, up to this point, we could say, have been more decisive. but now you can make decisions too, right? So that's the decision. What do you want? And are you committed to having that by whatever means? And no, you don't know all the drama that leads up to the receipt of your riches. Okay. We don't know. I don't have a crystal ball. You don't have a crystal ball. Actually, I was thinking about buying one just because I say so often to people, I don't have a crystal ball. I was thinking, you know what? What if I actually got one? I don't know if it would function, but it's something to look at. Where would I put it? Actually, I'm going to wait for Jan to design one. And then I'll buy it off her Etsy account. And it'll say John's Crystal Ball on it. And with a little smiley face and a copy.
Yes, with your name on it.
Right. All right, I'm babbling. Let me stop. Michael says I have access to crystal balls, John. Thank you, Michael, and your crystal balls. So let's go ahead and wrap up with that. Who would like to talk? Jan, you've got the floor, please.
Okay, I just wanted to just think about seed time and harvest a minute.
Mhm.
And when you have one kernel of corn and you plant it and it grows, each plant usually gives you 3 ears of corn, and there are 800 kernels on each ear of corn. So out of that one seed, look at all that you get if you just put it in there, do the work, the mindset, the right things. There you have it. That's all.
That's beautiful. Hey, question, because I really don't know anything about growing corn. So is each kernel of corn that you would normally eat, right? So assuming you didn't cook it, right? You just cut it off and you put it in the ground. That is, in fact, a seed for an entire corn stalk?
Yes.
Wow,
Now,
I did not know.
Now think about an apple tree. See, I'm going through Accelerator and I'm like, my mind is like all of a sudden. So an apple tree. Now, if you do the corn, then you have all those kernels that then you can go and plant and have more. But an apple tree, an apple usually is 6 seeds per apple, but that tree produces apples as long as the tree is well cared for.
From that little apple seed that I spit out into the garbage.
Yes, yes.
Right.
Yes.
Wow. Thank you, Jen. That also brings up the question of environment, right? Because that apple seed on a glacier or something is going to die, right? Yeah. Okay. Beautiful, beautiful stuff. Which is why we're here, right? We're in the environment where we can thrive. Jan. Yes.
I have one last thing.
Yes.
Some seeds take longer to grow than other plants.
Mm-hmm.
So when you plant them and you're expecting, it sometimes is not immediate. Some plants, like I used to have a pastor that had been a farmer, and he said, if you plant a certain plant like a radish, I don't remember the right ones, but they take longer to grow than, say, corn or whatever. And so not all your seeds will work at the same growth rate is all I
Right. That's actually been referred to as the law of gender. All seeds have a gestation or incubation period. Sure. Yeah. And that's very lawful. That's not, you can't break that law, right? That's just the way it is. So, and we're not surprised when it took 9 months to have the baby, right? That's a seed, right? Very good. Nor do we doubt the process when it doesn't happen in 3 months. So, beautiful stuff. Thank you, Jan. Ben, you're unmuted. Anybody else? Ben, would you like to talk?
I have a question.
Hey, Suzanne.
Yeah, I have a question about, I guess, leverage. And I also have a question about how you define spectacular. I guess regarding leverage, I want to know how Rachel defines leverage as far as low-hanging system. So how would she define that today in terms of how many mugs we would have to have in our stores before we started seeing a return? How many would we have to have success the way that she has?
Well, she's got thousands. Okay. And I could tell you that, well, if you want to get Rachel's thoughts on it, ask Rachel. I could tell you leverage is anything where you get a mechanical advantage. So this much input to much more output. Okay. Lifting more heavy weights, for example, like thinking of a lever. So in the case of what we're doing here, you've got the ability to leverage many designs and to see what works, feed the winners, kill the losers, obviously, do more of what works and less of what doesn't, and have a leveraged income. So it's not linear, it's leveraged. So that's what I mean by leveraged. If you want Rachel's interpretation on that, fine. Now, I will tell you that having reviewed statistics from some of our members recently, there are people who are making, I want to say Rachel level income, okay, but significant profitability with, in some cases, less than 50 designs. And in some cases, there were people who have done between 5 and 900. And they've done others that they eliminated, but somewhere in that approaching 1,000 range that were doing very, very well. So
Okay, are they doing designs for groups like businesses, fire departments, hospitals? I mean, are they doing things like that in order to
Not necessarily.
generate higher numbers?
No, not necessarily. Now, some are, and that's kind of, I like where you're going with this too, Susan. That's a nice, I'm not going to say cheat, but let's say that let's say you've got a communication line with someone who is, they run an organization. Hey, I run this design company and we got your logo here. We could do the whole thing. We can, get you 100 of these units, right? So that happens too. That's nice. In fact, that's pleasing.
Well,
Think of it like this.
what I was suggesting that today in the Facebook group. I was saying that you don't necessarily have to just place a cup in your doctor's office. You can just go to the doctor's office and say, what kind of a cup would you like to see? Or you can go to any group and say, what kind of cup would you like to see? And then you can just post it, or at least send them a flyer and say, look, I've done this,
Mhm.
right?
You could. It's definitely a bit more hands-on, but it's also a nice on-ramp to getting into that market. It might be a micro market, but still, it could be really great. By
Well,
and
I
large,
mean,
it's
I'm
going to be
only
the broad
mentioning
public. I'm
that-
sorry. Are you hearing me? Okay, Susan?
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead. You wanted to talk. Go ahead.
Yeah, because you keep talking about being spectacular. So I'm
Yeah.
just wondering how you define spectacular. So you're saying
Something
being
worth looking at.
spectacular, outrageous, going into the community. I just need more information than that.
Okay. Well, spectacular is just a thing to describe something that is nice to look at. That's all. I like pleasing results. I think those are spectacular. It feels good for me to make a spectacle of this. If we're going to do it, let's do it fully. This isn't like half measures or anything like that. Like if I enroll in something, I'm enrolled. So I mean, that's just how I play. And people know it, because we make our mark. So that's what I would intend for you and for everyone, is that you do this fully and really make your mark. Does that help, Susan?
Yeah, that's good. Thank you.
You're so welcome. Awesome. We got Michael here as well. Michael with the crystal balls, please. Michael.
I'm going to get a mug that says that. I understand where Susan's coming from. As a business and a business owner, there is the artistic side of these things. And what I'm hearing and what I'm visualizing is her we're looking for quantifiable results. What's our break-even point? What's our cost analysis? All these kind of business aspects of what we're doing. And it's good to do that. However, this particular type of business is not necessarily based on how, if I sell 1,000 mugs, what's my return on investment? How long will that take? What are my best clients? That kind of thing. The quantifiable part is, did I make a really good design? How many people are going to do this? And to what I was thinking about when she said, when I go to doctor's office, I mean, what if Susan can make a cup that says, hey, just as a joke, here's my free mug from Susan, and on the bottom is her information. Whip off a couple of those for businesses, doctor's office, dentist's office, that kind of thing, and as a marketing tool. And that might just get her some of these quantifiable results she's looking for.
Lots of ways to skin that cat, sure. And look, promotion is in order. A major part of the whole marketing effort, right, is to make known and to promote and to impinge upon the public in an ever expanding way, so they can decide to exchange with you because they don't know you exist. right? Until they see the
Yeah.
product and until they are enlightened. So yeah, anything goes. Anything goes with that.
And she creates her own spectacularness rather than letting it happen
Yeah, there you
organically.
go. Go make a spectacle of yourself. Yeah, for me that's fun and flippant to say that. So I don't know that we need more analysis on it, but it's thank you, Michael. And look, some people are asking how to contact me. John L at knowledgesource.com.au. So I'll go ahead and put that in a chat. It's been a while since I did that. By the way, if you got any feedback, questions, praise, love, adulation, send it here. JOHNL at knowledgesource.com.au, because this whole operation is out of Australia, in case you guys didn't know that. I'm in Phoenix, Arizona, but awesome. Thank you, Michael. And Ben's unmuted again. Ben, did you have a comment, sir? No, he just likes to play with his mute button. All right. And yes, Ben?
I did lose a lot of meetings because my work schedule changed at any time. So when the session is supposed to be on, I'm always out. I always come and watch video, but today I'm very lucky to be part of it.
Oh, well, glad you're here. That's Ben, everyone. He's here live with us today. Fantastic.
I've been going through the video every time when I miss it. So I'm very lucky to be part of the program now.
Very good. Where are you out of, Ben? Where are you from?
From Ghana, but I live in the UK.
From Ghana via UK. Glad you're here, my friend. All right. That's Ben, everybody. Okay. Any other thoughts on our first session of the week? Feel free to raise your hand or come on out. Any other thoughts on this? Okay. Well, then let's go ahead and Michael, you had a thought?
I was just kicking myself, and we were talking about this last week about not being so hard on yourself, and I got a little behind. I wanted to have everything done last week with my lessons and my two things I got from Destin, and I haven't. It's a long weekend too, and I'm like, I'm just a little frustrated with myself. I'm like, I'm at 60 miles an hour in neutral. I'm like, okay, what happened? I didn't drive. Like, things have just got a little bit wacko, and I feel a little bit down on myself for not being on top of this and not being ahead of the game. Because we're talking about if you're not early or late. Well, I'm kind of the same thing. If I haven't got it done early, then I'm behind. So that's just been nagging me this last little bit.
Right, and you're not alone. You're getting some agreement there in the chat. But look, my weekend was packed with things that I wasn't even expecting that I was going to do, having to do with our group here. So there's a lot of work that's going on behind the scenes for you guys. So it was a pretty busy weekend. Tell you what I'm going to do next weekend. I'm going to get on my Harley and disappear. That's what I'm going to do next weekend. So, but this weekend.
Okay, well, I'm free. Just saying.
Yeah.
I'll jump on the back.
Okay. Very good. All right. Anybody else today before we wrap up? Thank you, Randall. I will ride safely. Ride like you're invisible. That's how you do it. So, Missy, please, Missy.
I just wanted to say that it took a certain amount of time, but a few days ago had nothing to do with selling a mug. I just feel a growth that is palpable in my brain, in my being, in my world, and I can almost literally picture it, expanding into places that I tried to go before, but could not successfully go. Where no Missy could have gone before, I'm now going, and it's more than a 5-year mission. And it's in great part to you and your thoughts and your way of conveying them, because you really are an oracle. And I wouldn't use that word in jest. The way you have distilled all this information and are able to pass it on has been life-changing for me. And I see Cynthia, I just want to thank you so much, because your pivot word, of course, everybody's vocabulary, but Cynthia's pivot word has saved my life 3 times in the past week. from when she said that last week. So I just wanted to make sure I thanked her. I just looked for her, didn't see her, but John, thank you. And when you get that feeling, it's magnificent and there's nothing like it in the world. So thank you, everybody.
Thank you, Missy. So glad you're here, my friend. This is just the beginning. And yes, you are selling mugs. So congratulations on that as well.
Thank you.
Beautiful. Cynthia is actually here with us right now. Cynthia, you want to wrap us up today? What are your thoughts?
Oh, I don't want to take too long, but I just wanted to say, going back to Jan's comment earlier about seeds, I think what I've learned, and I'm learning in a new way with this program, is the fact that there's growth in the delays. I wouldn't be ready for the next step as long as I'm persevering and pursuing my with expectancy. To your points, excellent. I really appreciate those today. It's a good fire up Monday. And thank you, Missy. I hold on to everything you say as well. But the seed time, there's times where, we can't see the seed sprouting in the dirt. I come from ag and gardening. And so just because it hasn't popped through the soil doesn't mean that it's still growing. And so keep watering it, keep nurturing it, keep doing what we've got to do. It's going to come. And we may be growing a corn, we may be growing a wheat, we may be growing an apple. We don't know, but I just have to encourage myself. I'm preaching to the choir myself here. So I just want to encourage everybody. Let's just keep watering and sowing. Michael, your seed's going to sprout any day.
Beautiful. Thank you, Cynthia. Always great to hear from you. And you
Thank
got some
you,
beautiful
John. Thank you,
flowers as your
everybody.
main picture. Yep. Good stuff. Okay. Shall we wrap up with that?
Yes.
All right. We shall. I will see you all back here tomorrow. Make it a great day. You totally deserve